Hello out there, subscribers and friends. This is Surviving 2 coming at you with another video. Alright, here's a stove I started making, and I ended up made out of just regular old Pepsi cans, and I ended up making it a little bit shorter than a standard stove, but when I went to try and put it together and everything, I had a bit of a malfunction. For one, it didn't want to go together, and then when it did go together, and I'll show you a comparison of them here. Get my fat fingers out of the way. See how much shorter it ended up being. So it ended up going way up in there, and I had no way of getting it back out. So I ended up just leaving it shoved up in there like that and sealed it with that heat silicone around the edges of it, and it shouldn't leak. So I might still use it as a stove. I might just go ahead and punch holes in here instead of doing it the way I normally have been doing my stoves lately and putting screws in there. And I'll just use this one as a regular penny stove. Now it shouldn't go very long, not being that thin, but I'll check it out and test it and see what happens. But this is what I was going for. This is my new stove. It went together real well, and it's got all the holes around it made out of Pepsi cans. I got insulation in it. And I ended up putting this little thing here on the top in it. Now that is a thumb screw, just a regular old thumb screw that you can buy at a store. Bought it at the depot, Home Depot, and just cut it down. The reason why I cut it down is so that when I had it screwed in even, it was still sticking up above the top here. So I took a Dremel tool and I cut it down. And let me go ahead and open it up here. Get that out. Doesn't take long. I'll go ahead and we'll fill it up. And it doesn't take much effort to fill it up. It goes right in there. It goes in pretty quick. Let's see, yep, got just a little bit left. That was maybe an ounce that I was putting in there. So let me go ahead and get that screw back in there. You can see how easy it screws in. I can do it with one hand almost. Alright. Put a couple of drops up there. Take and put a couple drops down around the sides here in my pan. Get rid of that fuel. Center it up a little bit. Now let's fire it up. Alright, there we go. Now we're fired and going. I did a little stove review, I guess you could call it, showing Joe's stove, and I had some water. I went ahead and dumped that out, took another glass of water and put in it. So this is fresh water and cool water, so we have a good comparison here. It's going pretty good now. I'll go ahead and set this on top of there, and the time, let's see what, it's about 19 minutes after. So we'll see how long. It seems to be burning pretty good. We'll see how long it takes to boil some water, and I'll get back to you. Okay, I'm back at you. I don't know if you can see those flames. They're really low. I just noticed and found something out about this. Okay, I take the cup off. Look at the flames getting bigger. Don't know what's causing that. I put it back on, They'll stay big for a little bit. And if you see, they'll start to go back down again, or at least they have been for the last couple of times. I'm still running the time on the boil and doing pretty good. See if I can zoom in on this. You can see I'm getting bubbles down there already and around the sides. So it's about ready to run to a rolling boil. All the flames seem to stay a little more. I haven't run this stove that much, so maybe it just needed to be broken in a little. Once I get it good and broken in, maybe it'll go. Now I've got insulation inside of this one too to help keep stuff. I can see steam coming off the top. You can see that? And we're getting some boil down in there. It's starting. It's working on it. Now if this was already pre-sanitized water, I'm sure that would be a good boil already. Yeah, it's still keeping the flames up and going pretty good. And maybe it just needed to be broken in a little. It would probably do a lot better if it wasn't having to set right on top of it. I bet if I used my tin can stove and put it over it and kept the pan, the cup off of the top of it, well then it would probably do a lot better and probably heat up a lot quicker. But they're still going, the flames are still going pretty good now. So we're getting, I can hear it. A lot more bubbles in there. So it's getting there. And it's only been, well, maybe 5 minutes, 4 minutes if that. It's just not at a rolling boil. Flames are still going good. Nice blue flames are even all the way around. So that's cool. Yeah, it seems to have sorted itself out now. This is the first real long time test I've done on it, and putting a mug on top of it to cook off of. So it's a good thing. Good thing I'm doing it here instead of out in the field. Otherwise I'd have been freaked out a little bit. Yeah, we're getting bubbles in there. Back the camera up to where I'm not so close to it. Yeah, I'd pretty much kind of call that's a boil, but not a rolling boil. And it's only been, yep, let me zoom back out a little bit so you can read this. What, 6 minutes? And we're doing pretty good. Alright, that would be good for some chocolate. Matter of fact, I think I might go get some, because yesterday it was up in the 90s, and today, let's see, today it's 64 out here. So 30-degree difference. Now I just gotta let this burn out, and no telling how long it's going to take it to burn that much fuel out of it. I probably didn't need that much fuel. Well, those are pretty good, pretty nice little flames going on it. So if that was just sitting in the bottom of my tin can stove, it would do pretty good. That way I could set something up above it. Alright, you guys, take care. That's it. Here's a side note. It's still burning. It's been burning for like, what, 11 minutes now or better? And it's still going. I decided to make me some coffee instead. Alright, later. I want to thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more in the future that I put out, just subscribe. Until then, later.